Well, I hope everybody enjoyed us not being here and had a nice Easter with your family and friends. And it's great to be back here with you, Leader. We missed you, and we're glad you're here. And so I'd like to talk just briefly about the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. I'm now calling it the Inflation Act because over the last, it was rushed, it was partisan, and it promised all kinds of benefits to states such as mine of West Virginia, when in reality we see now as it's unfolding that the Democrats, have been sold really a bill of goods. We were told originally it would invest $300 billion in deficit reduction and $369 billion in energy security and climate change over 10 years. But now CBO is saying that the Inflation Act will not even, it adds $60 billion to the debt in the first 5 years and won't even see any kind of deficit reduction until 2029. This is also in addition to the enhanced power of the IRS that Senator Thune talked about it, and seeing how that's going to unfold, because apparently that's supposed to pay for everything in the Inflation Act. But if we look at independent observers of this bill, Goldman Sachs estimated that the law's climate spending costs $1.2 trillion over the next decade, which is 3 times as much as CBO scored it for last summer. The Brookings study estimates that carbon capture tax credits will cost $210 by the year 2040, which is another $167 billion more than was predicted last summer by CBO. Brookings also projects that the law's climate provisions could cost up to $1 trillion through 2031. And lastly, the Credit Suisse report last year estimated that a special tax credit to boost U.S. solar, wind, and battery supply chains would cost about $250 billion. That projection now is 8 times more than what CBO projected. This is filled with spending, filled with unmatched deficits, the Inflation Act, and I think it's going to lead to all of the problems we've seen with more problems with inflation, hurting energy costs, hurting the average American citizen, and you pile on that everybody's going to be buying an EV for how much ever more. I think the American public are waking up and they see what kind of damage has been done.